I have 3 things I want you to do before every single race, doesn't matter the distance, and these things are going to help you potentially get the most out of your race. You might not be new to some of these things, but I think a lot of the newer runners that watch my channel, this might be beneficial, or maybe you've been around long enough and you just want to get better and learn. When I ran my first 50-mile race, I technically did not finish. I was about 5 miles away from the end because of 2 different wrong turns I made, and I'd racked up all these extra miles from going the wrong way a couple miles and turning around, and I wasn't going to make the cutoff time. So I ran until my watch said 50 because I got 50 miles, and then I waved someone down to drive me to the finish line. So technically, like, if you go to the race, it says I finished. Technically, I really didn't, so I mean, it's whatever. But that leads me into my first of 3 points. So I have 3 points for you. I really, really encourage you to get on the course if you can, or if you can't, look up Reddit posts or reviews of this course. Look at race photos, look at Google Maps. Try and walk yourself through the turns and the race. It's going to reduce your anxiety a ton. Even if the markings are pretty good, sometimes things happen. For example, in this 50-mile race, there's someone who would point to which side of the fork in the road, and he had left to go to the bathroom or something, and I just saw his like little baton thing pointing on the ground, and I thought it was pointing left. And it was, but I was supposed to go right. And I realized that after a mile or whatever of taking that wrong turn. So you never know what's going to happen, and also you just feel more confident when you're like, oh, yep, I know what this turn is. I don't think you have to get crazy with memorization, but I think it goes a long way. So you can actually finish the race, unlike my 50-miler, and get more time and feel less anxious about it. I think that's super helpful. Second thing I want to talk about is waking up early enough. I know sleep's important, obviously. I'm all for getting good sleep. I don't sleep well on race nights, like the evenings before anyways. So to me, it doesn't really matter. I focus on getting a lot of sleep leading up to the race and in the couple weeks beforehand. And I like getting up early enough for a couple reasons. 1, to hydrate, and 2, to use the bathroom so I don't have to use the bathroom in the middle of a race. And that's something a lot of runners know and experience, and sometimes I still drink too much water, or I'm overly hydrated from the night before, so I have to pee in the middle of a race. But I'm trying to mitigate that, and I like to spend a couple hours before the race start to really get in the zone and walk through what I'm trying to do. So for example, depending on how long I have to drive to get to the start of a race or whatever, I typically get up 3 hours before race time. So if that's a 5 a.m. race, yes, I'm getting up at 2. I wasn't going to sleep well anyways. But I think even if you don't go as extreme as me, get up with enough time to drink some water and go to the bathroom and get some calories in and be able to walk yourself through your race the morning of, I think it goes a long way. In fact, I actually shower the mornings of races. I like it. Feels like a fresh start. It locks me in. It's meditative, so maybe you don't have to shower beforehand, but I know it's silly. I'm gonna shower afterwards, but I don't know. It's kind of nice for me. And then third thing I want to talk about is just knowing when you're gonna take your nutrition. So for example, with like running gels, I'm taking them every 45 minutes, and I'm comfortable and familiar with my pace, so I know roughly when or at what mileage point I'm going to be taking it, or I just pay attention to my watch and I'm like, oh, I'm 45 minutes into the race. So you might do something similar, maybe it's different, but I think it's helpful to kind of picture, okay, if I'm running like 10-minute miles, at 4.5 miles, I'm taking my second gel because I always start with one a little bit before the race. So things like that is super helpful. Nutrition is a monster that I'm still trying to handle, and I'm getting better at it, but it's kind of one of those things that I didn't realize was that important. Like, I knew I needed to eat things, but I'm just realizing how much better I can get if I really lock in my nutrition. So it's just helpful to think about when that's going to happen, go on with some sort of game plan. And you would practice this, typically on your long run. So then on race day, you aren't trying anything different and you know what you're getting yourself into and what it's like. It's easier that way. So hopefully these 3 tips really help you. My running channel is about running, obviously, and I'm trying to help people learn from my mistakes, hopefully PR, and really just overall deepen their relationship with running, because running has quite literally saved my life. So hopefully I can say something that helps you, and I hope you got something out of this video, and I hope I get to see you in another video sometime soon. Peace.